This is Top Accolade African News Updates. I am Soibifa Jakarich. Kenyan police have clashed with anti-tax protesters in the capital, Nairobi, as demonstrations have spread across the country, including the president's hometown of Eldoret. Anti-riot police, some on horseback, fired tear gas to disperse crowds of protesters on the streets of Nairobi. There were similar protests in other cities and major towns across the country, including Nakuru, Eldoret, Kisumu, and Nyeri. There is a palpable anger among many Kenyans over a controversial finance bill that has introduced a number of unpopular tax proposals. Despite the complaints, the controversial bill was passed by a majority of MPs during the second reading stage. It will now go on to the next stage, where a committee will consider amendments related to the proposed taxes. As the protest started, the public outcry forced the government to withdraw some of the contentious provisions, including a 16% tax on bread and an annual 2.5% tax on vehicles. But protesters say this is not enough and have demanded that legislators who are currently debating the bill in Parliament to reject the entire bill. An attack that reportedly killed over 100 soldiers on an army base in Burkina Faso has snowballed into speculation about unrest in the security forces. In a country where the military has been in power since 2022, the leader of the military junta has since appeared on state TV in an attempt to debunk the rumors. Burkina Faso has been battling Islamist insurgents for several years, and about half the country is outside government control. Jihadist group Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam War Muslimin has said it was behind last Tuesday's attack in the northern town of Ansila. The following day, there was an explosion near the headquarters of the state's television. Hundreds of people are thought to have died amid soaring temperatures at the Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. Those who have perished come from more than 24 countries, with most fatalities from Egypt. Many Egyptian pilgrims come from the poor villages. They spend their life saving on the spiritual journey to the holiest city in Islam. Efendiya, a 70-year-old mother of 5 from the northern province of Menofia, sold her jewelry to pay for her trip. Her younger son says, "What died while performing her rituals. My mom's death has broken me," he says, bursting into tears. He explained that going to Hajj was his mother's biggest dream. Efendiya, a widow, went to Mecca on a tourist visa, not on an official Hajj visa. She was among hundreds of thousands of unregistered pilgrims who hoped to fulfill their religious obligations this year without obtaining special Hajj permits. Saudi authorities considered these unofficial visits a violation of their regulations, but the process of obtaining official Hajj permits can sometimes become costly or complicated. A South African lawmaker has been suspended by his party, the Democratic Alliance (DA), after a series of old clips resurfaced online of him spewing violent racist language against black people. Ronaldo Girls initially insinuated one of the videos was doctored and denied it, but a statement issued by the DA on Thursday said it was genuine and not fake. In the video, Mr. Girls, who was sworn into Parliament last week, uses a local slur typically reserved for black Africans, repeatedly along with the N-word, and calls for black people to be killed. This could hardly have come at a worse time for President Cyril Ramaphosa as he trashes out a new coalition government with the DA. After being sworn in for a second full term as president, he now has agreed on the distribution of the ministerial posts between his own African National Congress (ANC) and the DA, along with 3 smaller parties. The ANC failed to win a majority in last month's election for the first time since the end of the racist system apartheid in 1994. The center-right DA, the country's second biggest party, has faced accusations of racism from critics who say the party wants to protect the interests of the white minority population, a charge it denies. Mr. Girls is a former councillor in Nelson Mandela Bay's Ward 2 and popular figure on social media who has been known to stir controversy. That is the size of Top Accolade African News Updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Friday.